I have made another acquisition. Oh yeah, Nitro. Yes sir, we are getting back into Nitro with the Nimbus Nitro. Got this a few days ago, finished building it this morning, then I headed this way. So I just got done with a quick maiden. It went well, mostly, until my RPM sensor fell off. So I screwed it back on and tested it and it works again. It's kind of weird that it fell off, but anyway, it seems to fly pretty well. It's super windy right now, if you couldn't tell by the wind noise in the background, but I'm just going to send it. Man, it's windy. It does that wobble, and it spools up and it's fine. So it's super light. I kind of had a feeling before I even flew it. I think it's possibly too light. There's a guy that's coming tomorrow who will be bringing a set of 556s that I'm going to try out and see if I like it better as a 550. And then we'll see what happens there. Still rich, but I'm just taking it easy on the heli at first until I'm more confident in it and with it. And it's windy. So it seems to fly pretty good, just like the original Nimbus, the electric one. Nice and locked in and plenty agile. I believe the geometry might be different from my electric one that I used to have. Not 100% sure on that, but I don't remember it having these long balls on the swash plate. Like I said, I think it's a little too light for me. I think I'll probably enjoy it more as a 550. So we'll see tomorrow. These blades I kept from when I had the raw 580. And so I just put them on here because it's what I had. But yeah, I think for me, I think I want it to be more higher disc loading and higher RPM. Like my NX5 was. It was a little on the heavy side, but it had a lot of power and flew awesome. And that's kind of what I want this for. So as far as the build goes, it was great, nice and smooth, and very quick. I got this delivered, I think it was Monday afternoon, and I had the majority of the mechanics done by that night, probably around 10 or 11 p.m. And then the next day I finished it up, mostly just like the linkages and finalizing the boom position, the little things, and then doing all the wiring and all that. Pretty easy. Didn't take very long at all to build, just like the electric Nimbus that I had a while back. I do really like the wiring channel that they give you. This little metal piece that runs from right there to right there. And it has zip tie holes, so you just zip tie all your stuff to it. Works pretty well. The only complaints, and they're very minor that I can think of personally, one is I'm not really a fan of how close that wire is to the frame right there. It's not that big of a deal. It just made getting the servo in a little bit difficult, and I've heard that from one other person that I was talking to about this helicopter. He said the same thing, but it'll go in, and it's not that hard, but it was not like drop in. I had to kind of finagle it a little bit. And the only other thing is there's no rake at all to it, like forward tilt. This tail fin's on the ground, and I know that's not the stock fin, but it's the exact same height as the stock fin. And I mean, it's completely tail fin on the ground with the skids flat. Not a huge fan of that. I'm going to put a little spacer block underneath the landing gear to kind of tilt it forward a little bit. Other than that, though, the build is really smooth, and really don't have any complaints. It's a nice helicopter so far. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this back up and maybe fly again if this wind decides to not suck so much. As you can see, it's still filthy rich, so not making that much power right now, but it'll get there as I dial it in. Alright, we got some dinner and came back. It's a little bit less windy than it was, so I'm gonna fly again.
Motor idle, idle up 1.
Alright, so David helped me get this tuned in a little while ago, and it's flying a lot better now, making a lot more power. It was extremely rich, more than even I thought it was, but now it's doing pretty well and flying awesome. So I'll do a flight here in a minute and show you what's up.
Motor idle. Idle up 1.
I don't know what happened here, but the wires on that sensor are totally messed up, so I'm just gonna unplug it and run curves, I guess. Alright. Wow, that's dumb. I like governors. Got V-curves, or curve where it's like flat except for the middle point is a little bit lower. It's been a while since I've flown with curves. That's more like it. And the craziest part about that is this is my curve. I'm not even going up to 100. And that's... I'm not very good at keeping it loaded, so I might end up going all the way up to 100 on the edges, but yeah, that's pretty great. In case you couldn't see it earlier when I showed it, the governor sensor, I think that's broken off right there, so that's why it was surging like that. That's the third time that's happened on this sensor, because there's no strain relief, so it seems like kind of a design flaw, but I'm probably gonna desolder them and resolder them and then put some epoxy over them or something. The last time it happened, I tried hot glue and it fell off immediately, so I guess the oil doesn't let it stick or something. So I'll try epoxy this time, I guess. Alright, sun's just about down. We're gonna go for one more here. And then we're gonna head out after that.
Idle up 1.
And there is the Nimbus Nitro. I think it's going to see a lot of airtime this weekend. I'm really liking it so far. It's insane how much power it's making with just those curves that don't even go to 100% throttle. I do still want to put the governor on it because I like having a governor, but it'll work for now until I get that sensor fixed. So, alright, we got the rail 556 installed. I think it looks pretty decent still, not too short. So here in a bit I'll go fly that and see how it compares to the 580s. This little TS101 is quite handy. I took the sensor off of this heli and I've replaced the wire on it. The original one is super stiff and melts at a crazy low temperature. I'm not happy with that wire at all. So I changed it out and I'm going to put some strain relief on it. I've had the sensor do that same thing 3 times. And so I'm going to try adding some strain relief this time and see if that makes it last a little bit longer. So we'll be able to turn the governor back on. I know it's been doing pretty well without the governor, but I do a lot of unloading maneuvers. I'm not the kind of person who flies in a way that keeps it loaded all the time. And I have a hard time preventing it from over revving. I have to fly it differently than I normally do. So once I get the governor turned back on, I think I'll be a lot happier. So let's finish this up and we'll go for a flight. All right, we got that soldered up and some epoxy added to it on both sides. So hopefully that helps it last a little bit longer. Once that cures up the rest of the way, I'll get it installed back in the helicopter and we'll try it out. Alright, and that is reinstalled. I just need to trim these. I don't have flush cutters, so they're gonna be a little rough, but it'll work. Alrighty, that is back installed. Wire's not too tight. Should be good to go. Alright, so I got my curves set back to normal flat curves. Just need to go into the integration. And turn on used governor in each bank. And we should be good. And I can't remember what I set my head speeds to. There we go. That seems reasonable, I think. I'm gonna go up a little bit on this. Because 1700 seems to be at that RPM where it wobbles. Or only a little bit above it, so. Alright, we'll try it here in a bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing in the air with the 5.56 blades and try those out. Or 2300 is what I'm at. I think I'm gonna drop it to 22.
left 1.
That doesn't sound right.
10. IRCHA idle. Throttle hold.
Did you hear that? Oh wow.
Oh my God, dude.
Blew the blades off of it.
Oh my God.
Alrighty then.
You goddamn God.
What?
I want a gasser.
Serious? Like, okay. I don't know. I don't know how that. He found this.
Remember, I'm still.
I was carrying it. It was loose. It was like. It was about that far out. And then as I was carrying it, the blade slid all the way out. And then that washer fell out. He found it over there in the grass, so I'm gonna try and put it back together and try and get some better Loctite, I guess. I mean, I Loctited those. I cleaned the threads on them, and I used red. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll put it back together and hope it doesn't happen again. Woo! That could have been really bad. Yeah, I guess I just didn't do a good enough job cleaning those spindle bolts and the spindles when I put it together the first time, and it was fine for a while, and then I guess when I bumped up the head speed to the higher stuff with these blades, that was enough to break it loose and almost fall out. That is the most insane luck. Holy crap, that could have gone a lot worse, because when I landed, the blade grip was about to here. And then as I was carrying it in my hand to take it back over here, it just popped off. So there's probably half a thread holding it on still. If I had waited another 3 seconds, it probably would have exploded. That's unreal. So I got super lucky. So I'm gonna let the Loctite cure for a little while longer, and I cleaned the crap out of them this time. So hopefully it should be better and not do that again. I will say, I did like the way it flew with these blades. It's light, it's heavier, sorry. Higher disc loading, and especially with this wind, it handles better. And also, I just feel like it's easier to smack around than with the 580s. So I'll probably end up keeping these and sell those 580s out and keep flying it with these. Just seems like it's more suited to me and my flying style. So I've let it cure for quite a number of hours. I'm gonna go for a dusk flight here and check it out.
IRCHA idle. Idle left 1. IRCHA idle. Idle left 1.
Oh yeah, flying good now. Yep, so I definitely think I'm liking it more with these blades, so I'm gonna sell off those 580s because I'm not gonna need them, and just keep flying it with these. It is ripping hard. I'm liking it a lot. Does have a little bit of wobble on cyclic when the RPM goes up, but I gotta just lower the gain a little bit and it'll be fine. But it's flying really good now. I might have found my NX5 replacement finally.